Okay, today's news is more available than ever, and that is once again we've seen. I don't know. They just was the news on the radio, and I was having a little nap, and then they announced the news, and the first thing they said was, in Ukraine, a maternity hospital was bombed. And I went, oh fuck! Immediately brought me back to about 1990 and Kuwait, the so-called invasion of the so-called country of Iraq into the so-called country of Kuwait. And they put on a woman who claimed that baby incubators were stolen from Iraqi maternity hospitals and then shipped to Iraq. This bullshit story has what, because it's already been debunked on YouTube. You can go and find the. I just found the video. I remember seeing it from before. Completely debunked. It was a pack of lies. Debunked. The whole story was propagated by George H.W. Bush, the first President Bush of Kennebunkport, Maine. We had to debunk Kennebunkport. Now, if you take bunk out of Kennebunkport, then you got Kennyport. What's a Kennyport? What's a Kenny? Well, to ken, K-E-N, it's a strange verb. You probably haven't heard about it, but I have a Scottish grandmother, and she told us that in Scotland they would use the word ken to mean know. So, Kenny would be someone who knows, and port is, I don't know. I'm getting the Galactic Federation of Light more and more coming around. I'm just looking out and I'm seeing GFL on trucks. Galactic Federation of Light, or the Galactic Federation of Light, also known as Galactic Federation of Worlds. They're supposed to be helping us out, and I'm having a hard time understanding if they are or not, because I'm not being helped by them. So I don't know. We may just have multiple numbers of groups that are pretending to be helpful, that are maybe not. Trust no one is what the tagline of the X-Files was, the famous paranormal extraterrestrial TV show. Okay, so what else do we want to talk about? Well, we talked about George H.W. Bush being a fucking liar. I'm sorry, am I allowed to swear? Anyways, anything to do with the Bushes is a pack of lies. 9/11 with George W. Bush. Anyways, it was the exact same story. And they go, a maternity hospital was bombed. A maternity hospital in Kuwait. The incubators were stolen from them under demonic attack by high-tech electronic fire. About that horrible stuff. Here I am all the time. So anyways, George H.W. Bush was a devil. And his son is a devil. And his other son, Jeb, is a devil. Proof is in the pudding. He was debunked. Pack of lies. We had the pack of lies of General Colin Powell, who talked about all the yellow cake, which was supposed to make radioactive bombs. I don't know, all kinds of fucking liars from the United States military, the ranks of the generals and admirals. Isn't it true? Pack of liars. Anything to do with the USA is a pack of liars, isn't it true? I don't know, are there any decent people in the American military? I doubt it. I think it's rotten to the core. And they got all that military hardware? Yep. They come after me? Not so far. I don't know. I can't figure it out. It seems like more and more movie actors are playing the part of generals. We saw Attorney General Barr, B-A-R-R, being played by an actor that was under Donald Trump. Famous actor. I'm being blocked by it from the demonic, but William Barr is a famous actor playing him. I've seen Bruce Willis, dressed up in a general's uniform. Somewhere along the line, supposed to be an authentic general. The fuck he is. Anyway, if you got actors that are appearing in the news as generals, that Bruce Willis needs to be hung by the neck until he's dead as a traitor. And the guy, the actor that was playing William Barr, Bill Barr, Nathan Lane, he needs to be hung by the neck until he's dead too. Unless they were deep fakes, CGI. But I don't know. How are you going to figure this all out? Because the deep fakes, all the deep fakes, deep fakes. Fukushima, Japan, deep fake. All that video is a bullshit thing. Because it is. The great tidal wave that hit Thailand. Deep fake. I know it becomes very difficult because it's just 9/11. Is that all deep fake too? I think so. Because I do know it's very hard for me to try and understand it. Because you would think somebody somewhere would go to Thailand and, verify one way or another, but, nobody I know. What about Japan? Do you meet Japanese tourists very much? No. So who's going to tell you the truth about Japan? Mainstream news? No, pack of liars. What do the people in Japan think about Fukushima? Maybe they don't even know that in English, in North America and Europe, we think Fukushima is still a nuclear problem. Chernobyl. Is it really a nuclear accident or not? Or was it just bullshit made up to scare us? Everything. I've never been to New York, so I can't tell you anything about 9/11. I've never been to Thailand. I've never been to Japan. I've never been to Chernobyl. Is Chernobyl in Russia or Ukraine? I think Chernobyl was in Ukraine, wasn't it? Why do they call the country Ukraine? The Ukraine. It's a strange thing. Because I live in Canada and we don't call it the Canada. You don't call it the Australia. You call it the United States of America. But you don't call it the Russia. You don't call it the Germany. But United States of America is a long thing, and it's like, United States. The United States. Because they were states first before they amalgamated and formed the USA. They were British colonies originally, and then they were, so what are we talking about? Well, the Ukraine. I've never been there. I've met people that say that, their families were from Ukraine, and, they used to speak Ukrainian, they did. I don't know, it's very difficult for me to try and, because I'm under demonic attack and I can't get good information. When I gotta go bite down like that, that's not me. That's evil fucking people that are riding my ass 24 hours a day. Evil fucking people that don't want you to know the truth. The truth is, there's all kinds of lies that go on about the nature of our planet. And people that are talking about flat earth, most people think, well, that's insane, I'm not even going to investigate it. But let's look at it from another point of view. A plane of consciousness. We talk about different planes of consciousness. Maybe you've never heard of the Buddhic plane. There's all kinds of other planes. You can look up planes. And I can't give you the other ones because there's also one called the mental plane. mental. And that's the plane that we live in. A plane of mind. Everything here that you see from the physical bodies to what's going on in your head, the thinking is mind. And above mind is the Buddhic plane. There's other planes. You have to go look them up because I can't give them to you right now because I'm being blocked. Just because these fucking devils can do it. And they will do it. And they'll torture you when they get the ability, and they'll never stop. Because they take great joy and pleasure. If you go into your heart and say, please let me access. No, just say go to Bobby Burroughs Akashic Record and go into the warehouse. You have full permission from me to go there. Just go there. You just tell your mind, I want to go there. Put your hand on your heart and go take me there to get information about the torture of me by these fucking devils. There's all kinds of information there. Akashic Record, everybody has access to it. If you don't know about it, I just told you about it. You can do research on it, but just instead of that, what you do is just pick up the phone. Maxwell Smart in the old TV show. Get Smart. He had a shoe phone. He'd take off his shoe and he'd talk into his shoe. So what you do is just use your hand phone. Here's your hand phone connected to your heart, your greenway heart chakra. Let's go like this and just say, Spirit, please connect me up to, let's just connect me up to anybody you want. And Spirit will say, they'll take your call or they won't take your call. You don't need to use the phone anymore. You can get rid of your phone because you can talk to people directly through your heart chakra because it's all connected. Everyone's connected through the hearts. You can find out anything you need to know. We learned this from Joel S. Goldsmith, a spiritual teacher from the 1950s, 1960s, in one of his lectures that we listened to a few weeks ago. That's what he said. If you want to talk to people, you just have to use Spirit. He called it the central office. In those olden days, in the primitive phones, they used the central switchboard. The history of telephones, long before smartphones, when we had landlines. And that's in those days, that's what he said when they made this lecture, and I don't know, around 1950, 1960. He just said, what you do is you just say, go through Spirit. Spirit is the central reception. It's impossible. You see these fucking people, when these fucking people are brought to justice, terrorism, year after year after year, 24 hours a day, the same people torturing me. What do you want to do with these people? Well, it's in God's hands, just so you know. And whatever God's hands are going to do, then God's hands are going to do to these people. Anyways, you're just going to do just what I said. Put your hand on your heart and say, Spirit, will so-and-so take my call? And if they do, Spirit will patch you through and you'll be able to talk. Just like when you were a kid and you used dolls. A 4-year-old kid or whatever can make a doll talk. You can make your hand phone talk as if it was a shoe phone, Maxwell Smart, and you just say, Spirit, and you can just say, Spirit, can you connect me up to Bobby Burrows, the warehouse, and somebody at the warehouse may pick up the phone, and you can ask questions about, are the terrorists after me as well? Because the terrorists have all kinds of lists of people. They got all kinds of details. They got so much information that they know when I need to cut my fingernail. It's insane how much information they have. I don't know. It's unbelievably advanced technology. Have you heard of med beds? You go look up med beds on the internet. All kinds of stories about advanced technology to heal us of everything, including aging. Med beds. Is it true? I never thought it was true before. But the more I'm tortured by high-tech stuff and the more I learn about how much stuff they have access to, I think med beds are real. I didn't think so before because it just seemed too far beyond, but the stuff that they're able to access about me, I'm sure that there is. I'm sure of it because the high tech is off the roof. These people are so evil. They keep all this shit for themselves. And they keep us in poverty. Anyways, all will be revealed. Transdimensional people. You can learn about fat controllers if you go to stuartwilde.com. STUARTWILDE.com. Look up fat controllers. Because it's all about these people that he says they hide in other dimensions. And they spend their whole time attacking humans from other dimensions. Fat controllers, it sounds far-fetched. But after I've been electronically harassed for so long, is it true? They're hiding all this stuff somewhere. If it's not, Anyways, I can't get any further on this because of this. Have an open mind. You need to ditch all the programming of what you think is possible. When I was born in 1965, no one would ever dream that we would have smartphones that you could do video calls on. But a few years later, when they first introduced Star Trek, then we saw communicating devices. And here we are, and our smartphones are way more advanced than the communicators that Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock used in Star Trek in those days. So, you have to open your eyes and say, if that's possible, and if we're still being restricted, even if you go to Walmart and you look at the laptops that are available, I think we had more advanced laptops in the year 2000 than what Walmart is giving us now. They keep us dumbed down. Because they enjoy their elite status. They enjoy knowing that they have all this stuff and they deny it to us and they get their jollies off it. They're evil, fucking sick in the head people. They're so fucking evil, it's beyond belief. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm Bobby Burrows.